In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this adorable pumpkin button craft. This takes just a minute or two and it's made with just a simple pipe cleaner and some stacked buttons. This is a great way to use up some buttons, and we're going to make this together step by step. For this project, you're going to need some pipe cleaners. Now, I chose some green ones because it's going to eventually at the top be a little pumpkin stem. I have some metallic green ones and then just like a classic, like regular kind of pipe cleaner. You can use either one. If you don't have green, you can get creative and do all different colors. Now, for the pumpkin part, I chose a bunch of plastic orange buttons that I had on hand. Now, these came in a multi-pack in this jar. You can find these at the craft store. They come in like a big bag, or this actually came in a jar and it was full of all different colors. I went through and I pulled out all the orange buttons. And as you can see, when you buy these multi-packs like this, there are very large buttons and smaller buttons and all different textures and styles. And that's going to work really well for this project. Now, you could also do a multicolor option if you just want to use up some buttons. But we wanted to go with the pumpkin orange. I also grabbed a pair of wire cutters because once we kind of do our pumpkin onto the pipe cleaner, then we'll trim the top a little bit. So this helps a lot. You can use scissors, but it will, if you have a pair of scissors and you cut this wire that's in here, it can put little notches in your scissor blade. I know some people just snip it, but just be mindful of that. If you need to use a pair of scissors, if you don't have the wire cutters, just use an old pair. So some people just dedicate a pair to cutting things with wire, and you can do that too. But they will cut through it, but just know it may put little notches in your scissor blade. So what we're going to do is kind of plan out our project first. We want to look at all the sizes of the buttons we have. So these are kind of the biggest ones. And because we're doing a pumpkin, it's a round shape. So if you think about it in terms of stacked buttons, you'll want the biggest ones to be in the middle. And then what I did was sort of build off of that and see how when we build off of that with doing like the next size down and then the next size down at either end, it sort of creates that pumpkin shape that we're after. Now let me just zoom in a little bit more so you can see that better. But you can really see as we are mindful of the size of the button that we're doing, you can taper that top and taper that bottom using smaller buttons, okay? So what you want to do is kind of plan out your pumpkin that way. And then what I like to do is line it up. Now, sometimes buttons, if you look at the side view of this one, the top of it is rounded and the bottom of it is flat. You'll want that to curve in kind of in conjunction with the curvature of the roundness of the pumpkin shape that you're trying to achieve. See, if we flip it over, it starts to look more geometric. See that, how it's flat on the bottom? So just start lining up buttons like that, larger ones in the middle, and they kind of decrease in size as you work your way out. Okay, once we have our buttons lined up and we've kind of planned it, what we're going to do next is we're going to take our pipe cleaner and we're going to bend it into like a U shape and sort of like squeeze the bottom a little bit. This is going to be the bottom of our pumpkin, okay? Then we line these up so it's really easy now to put them on. Now we want to make the curvy part to be the bottom of the pumpkin, and we're just going to put one side of the pipe cleaner in one hole and one side in the other hole of our button, and then just kind of like push it to the bottom, just like that, okay? Now grab the next button in your lineup. Now if your button has 4 holes like this one, you'll want to just do the ones across from each other. So see how I did those? If you do the 2 that are side by side, your pumpkin, or your button will be kind of off center, okay? So you want to keep them nice and centered. So we're just going to put that one on, and then we're into the largest ones here, and just pushing them all to the bottom, just like that. And just push that down, and just put the rest of them on there. This is why I mentioned before, it's really helpful to line them up like this, okay? And then here's our last little button. And you can see we have a lovely little pumpkin shape, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to sort of give this top a twist. because we want the buttons to kind of be locked into place. Now at this point, you could do a little leaf or something like that, but I'm going to just do a cute little short pumpkin stem, and we can use these scraps for later, okay? So let's go ahead and give this a little twist. Okay, so let's twist up the top, and then I'm going to take my wire cutters or old pair of scissors, whatever you're using, and just give that a snip, and then we're just going to finish that at the top, and then you can kind of like bend this to like look a little bit more realistic, okay? And there you have the cutest little pumpkin, and it only took a few seconds. I also went ahead and made one with the sparkly pipe cleaner so you could see what that looks like too. It looks cute for Halloween. And you can use these as a little hook. You could hook them on a little Halloween tree or something like that, or just kind of set them out. So that is how you make an easy pumpkin button craft. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and hit that subscribe button to get all the latest Sparkle and Splatter video updates. Bye everyone!